Well, everyone, guess where we are? This YouTube channel has hit 500,000 subscribers. We're about the size of a decent sized city right now, and it's a magnificent community, so thank you. Thank you to all of you for really strengthening the voice and the reach of this YouTube channel. But I really want to take a minute to really tell you what a strange journey it was to get here. Because if nothing else, let this channel getting to 500,000 be something that opens all of you to pushing for the story you want to put out in the world. I was somebody who, for a variety of reasons throughout my life, and definitely throughout my adulthood, was somebody who never really believed in her voice. In fact, I was always trying to sort of hide myself. What was interesting is as time went on, one place I got very frustrated was I actually didn't like the quality of what I considered to be sort of how mental health was being talked about in the media. It was often being sort of constricted into a handful, very small handful of experts. These experts were usually white men. They often didn't quite get the experience of everyone out there, and nobody, and I mean nobody, was talking about narcissism. The voice that always goes through my head, and I'm going to be honest with you, when my team said we got to 500,000, I was a little awestruck and almost a little bit teary, because it was remarkable that someone like me, who felt that I had no right to hold myself in front of an audience, that we finally got to such reach, was actually nothing short of a miracle. And what was interesting was the voice that went through my head, and I'm going to be frank with you, it still goes through my head, is, who do you think you are, Ramani? Who the hell do you think you are talking to all these people about what you think you know? I still have to talk myself up to sit in front of this camera and talk to all of you. I still believe my voice doesn't have that much worth. And that 500,000 of you have come along and believe it does have worth is not only extraordinary in terms of what it meant for one woman's healing journey, it also speaks to me about what has happened in this world where so many people need this guidance. And what saddens me is it tells me something about how many people have always needed this guidance. Where the game interestingly changed was every time I tried to find networks or other sorts of gatekeepers in the media, say, we got to talk about this, we got to talk about this. Everyone's like, that's too negative. Like, talk about positive stuff, talk about hope. And I was like, for God's sake, people are suffering. And I saw it in my office, week after week after week. People who were so dehumanized by their relationships. I myself went through this. And I thought, oh, come on, someone's got to talk about this. And this is where I kind of had to get my own sort of, maybe, narcissism out of the way. It took the innocent voices of my own students, people I now even work with, to come up to me and say, hey, you know what? You really need to do this on video. And the first thing, I can still picture that day as though it was yesterday. This one particular young woman, who's one of my strongest students ever, tentatively comes into my office and says, you gotta do this on video. Nobody's really reading. I was barely on Instagram. I didn't know any of it. Like, I don't like being on camera. And she's like, I get that you don't like being on camera, but could you just give it a shot? She teamed with another student who was also one of my very best students. And in a very ragtag way, using, I think, an iPhone, we started this journey. My point in telling you all of this was, to this day, I'm dogged by that belief that I don't deserve to have this voice. That is the legacy of what narcissistic abuse does to us. 500,000 of you have decided, nah, I want to hear for what she's got to say every day. I'm sure you don't listen to it every single day. I don't even want to listen to myself every day. But what this maybe milestone means for me, and what I want to communicate to all of you, is every single one of you has an extraordinarily important voice. And however you exert that, whether it's to one individual in your life where you say, hey, that person might be gaslighting you, let me tell you what that's about. You deserve better. Whether you're a teacher and you want to teach your students how to think critically about manipulations in their environment, whether you're a therapist who's working with a client who's going through this, or a healthcare provider who is recognizing that your patient's abusive relationship may actually be harming them more than other illnesses and other medical issues they're facing. Whoever you are and whatever it is you do in this world, please let our 500,000 be an opening for you to say, she's got a voice, I want a voice too. I'm still learning how to hold on to mine. We're never going to give up the fight here. This is the beautiful part of my career, is that I get the thing that I feel most passionate about. I get to share with so many. I get to share with individual clients, and I get to share through my writing. And that's really meaningful to me. So think about a way how you can take your experience, your suffering, your story, and turn into something you can pay forward. I can only thank all of you who've watched this channel, who've grown from this channel, and sent your beautiful and extraordinary comments and emails. How much you've been a contributor personally, and how much I have been gifted by your willingness to listen to this and to grow from this. Thank you.